Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to the Jefferson Elementary School Discipline Assembly. This is Mrs. Black speaking, your assistant principal. We're going to talk about rules that we need to remember to stay safe at Jefferson Elementary School. The purpose of school. You come to school every day, boys and girls, to learn the things that you need to know. You come to learn how to be responsible, and you come to learn how to be a good citizen. School hours. Students arrive no earlier than 7:40. Okay? At 7:40, breakfast is served, and you may eat breakfast from 7:40 until 8 a.m. If you plan to eat breakfast, you need to come to school in time to eat, and that's between 7:40 and 8. School begins at 8:10. Students are dismissed at 2:30, and you should either go directly home, or you should go directly to the buses, or you go directly to Hearts. Every Wednesday is our early release day, and students are dismissed at 1:15. To and from school. Walkers. If you are a walker, you need to follow all the safety rules. You use the crosswalks, you stay out of yards, don't walk on people's grass, and you come directly to school when you're walking, and after school, you go directly home. To and from school for bus riders. Bus riders need to arrive at your bus stop on time. You enter the bus in an orderly manner. Use your quiet voice. Remain seated and keep your seat belt on. Follow all the directions given by the bus driver, or you may get a bus ticket. Let's pause. Can you remember one thing walkers must do? And can you remember one thing bus riders must do? Teachers, would you pause and give your students a chance to respond? Welcome back. All right, let's talk about before school. When you do get to school in the mornings, please do not go to your classroom to drop off your backpacks. Please do not go to the classroom to see your teachers. They are working and getting ready for school. Please go to breakfast when you get to school, or you may go straight to the playground. When the bell rings, you need to walk to the classroom and you will line up quietly. Classroom expectations. What do we expect our Jefferson Jaguars to do in classroom? You need to be prepared to learn. You need to follow the directions the first time. You need to take care of your textbooks, your materials, your supplies, your Chromebook. Do not participate in disruptive behavior. So we don't want you to disrupt the class. And if someone else is disrupting the class, don't laugh. You keep doing a good job. You stay on task. We need you to complete and return assignments on time. And if you don't understand something, raise your hand and ask for help. Let's pause. Can you remember 2 classroom rules that you should follow? What are 2 things you should do in the classroom? Welcome back. Let's talk about recess. There's no food allowed on the playground at any time. You need to fill up your water bottle and use the bathroom before the bell rings. There's no hitting, pushing, playing tag, or kicking. And when you hear the first bell, you need to freeze. Then, when the teacher blows the whistle, then you will walk to your line. And remember, our food is eaten on the benches near the lunch structure. Also, at recess, remember that if you take off your jacket or your sweatshirt, just tie it around your waist while you play. Don't put it on the ground. You may forget it, it may get lost, and it will definitely get dirty. Please make sure that your name is on your jacket also so that if it does get lost, you can find it or we can get it back to you. Let's pause. When should you fill up your water bottle and use the restroom? And what should you do when you hear the bell? Stop and talk to your teachers. Welcome back. All right, now let's talk about our playground rules. There are many things we can do here at Jefferson. You can play soccer, you can play jump rope, you can play on the ball wall, you can play foursquare, you can use the swings, you can play in the sandbox, you can play basketball, you can play tetherball, and you can just walk around in small groups or even sit in small groups and talk. There are some things that you cannot do on the playground. You cannot write and pass notes. You cannot play football. You cannot throw balls at other students. You cannot twist and turn on the swings. You cannot jump off the swings. And you cannot walk and run in large groups because people could get hurt. You also cannot play electronic games or devices anywhere at school. That includes PSPs, Game Boys, iPods, MP3 players. You cannot use your cell phones on the playground or anywhere else on campus during the school day. We should never see your phones at school. And you cannot use inappropriate language. Let's pause. Can you remember 2 things you can do on the playground and 2 things you can't do on the playground? Stop and talk about it with your teacher. Welcome back. Let's talk about the cafeteria rules. When you're in the cafeteria, you need to follow the directions of the adults in charge. There are many adults in the cafeteria area. Some are noon supervisors, some are our cafeteria workers, some are Mrs. Ferris Scott, and even myself. You need to follow the directions of all the adults. We even have teachers who help us out to get their classes settled. You must listen and follow the directions of all the adults in charge. In the cafeteria, you need to wait patiently in line and keep moving forward. Do not change your place in line unless adult tells you to. That means no cuts. You don't get to move in front of your friend because they're further up in the line. Stay in your place. Do not take more than one of each food item or drink. 1 milk, 1 slice of pizza, 1 package of apples, 1 ranch dressing, 1 ketchup, 1 fork. If you need more of ranch or a napkin, raise your hand and an adult will let you get that item. Pick up all the trash on the table and the floor. Do not talk loudly or yell. Do not throw food. Do not share food. You only can eat the food that is yours. You cannot touch anyone else's food and they cannot touch your food. No hats or hoods in the cafeteria. We are in the cafeteria to eat, not to play. Let's pause. Can you remember two cafeteria rules? Stop and share with your teacher. Welcome back. Let's talk about the dress code. When we are at school, there are no hats indoors. That means no hats in the classroom, no hats in the library or the office, no hats indoors. If you have a hat on outside, you must be worn with the bill facing forward. You may not turn your hat backwards. Okay? Hoods on your sweatshirts and jackets must be off unless it is very cold outside. No dangling earrings. It's easy when you're playing for your earrings to get caught or pulled, and that would injure your ear. So, no dangling earrings. No strapless shirts, or no shirts with spaghetti straps, or no shirts with those big openings on the side. No sagging pants, no belts or chains hanging from your pants, and no bandanas. Shoes. Shoes should have a closed toe and a heel, like you see in the pictures here. Closed toe and the heel. Shoelaces must be tied so people don't step on your shoestrings and cause you to fall. Flip-flops and beach sandals are not to be worn to school. No flip-flops, no beach sandals. And shoes with rollers are not allowed. That means shoes with the wheels on the bottom are not allowed at school. Pause. What might happen if you wore shoes that didn't cover your toes? What are some of the things that might happen if you had shoes on that didn't cover your toes? Discuss that with your class. Welcome back. What happens when I follow school rules? When you follow the school rules at Jefferson, you will be safe. When you follow the rules, you can earn classroom rewards and school rewards. When you follow the rules, you will have friends, and if you follow the rules, you might get Jaguar gold slips. And I've seen many students start to get those in the lunch area because you are following the rules. What happens when I don't follow the rules? Someone could get hurt if you don't follow the rules. You might get benched if you don't follow the rules. You might get a blue slip or a referral. You might have detention. If you don't follow the rules, your parents may receive a phone call from the school, or you might get sent to the office. And we do not want that, boys and girls. What happens in the office? Sometimes you are just counseled, and sometimes we have to warn you about your behavior. Sometimes you might get benched. Sometimes you might have to serve detention. Your parent will be contacted. You might get suspended, and you might have an expulsion. Expulsion means to get expelled. Let's talk about medication. If you need medication at school, your doctor must fill out a form so you may take it to the school, or your parent may take it to the school. The medication must be kept in the office. You may not keep it in your backpack. You may not keep it in your pocket. You may not keep it in your desk. Your parent may come to the school and give you the medication. Let's talk about substitute teachers. A substitute teacher is a real teacher. and they are a guest on our campus. Students need to be responsible and be on their best behavior. That will make your teacher very proud when she comes back and reads a nice letter from your substitute. Good notes from guest teachers equal rewards. Pause. Tell one way that you can be responsible when you have a substitute. You can use this sentence frame. When I have a substitute, I will. What's that one responsible thing you will do when you have a substitute? Let your teacher know. Welcome back. Let's talk about behaviors to avoid. All right, suspension can happen with some of these offenses. Suspended means that you're not allowed to come to school. You could be suspended for 1 day, up to 5 days, and that means you will not be allowed to come to school. One reason that you could be suspended is for causing serious injury to another person. You could be suspended for fighting. You could be suspended for threatening to hurt someone. You could be suspended for bringing a weapon or anything that looks like a weapon to school. So even if it's a toy that looks like a weapon, you should not have it here. You could be suspended for using bad language repeatedly. That means you continue to do it. You could be suspended for disrupting classroom or school activities. And for grades 4 through 6, you could be suspended for sexual harassment, which we will talk about a little bit later. Physical injury. Physical injury means you are hurting someone. For physical injury, you are touching them. You are hurting them with your hands or another part of your body. So a physical injury is hurting someone. You're really hurting someone, like in our picture. You are trying to hurt someone, and you are threatening to hurt someone. All of those are part of a physical injury. Physical injury can also happen with play fighting. So even though you were playing, you could still cause a physical injury. That is why we do not have play fighting. It could still lead to a physical injury. And of course, rough playing. We don't do rough playing because rough playing can also lead to a physical injury. Let's pause. What's one example of a physical injury? Talk about it with your teacher. Welcome back. Now we're going to talk about two things: self-defense versus retaliation. Listen carefully. Self-defense is when you have to use force, like pushing or hitting against another person just so that you can get away and get help. The reason you have to use force in self-defense is that usually you are all alone, there are no adults, and you need help, and you have to use force to get away to get help. And I want you to look at our little friend here. He's trying to get away, and that is the only reason you use force in self-defense, is just to give yourself a chance to get away, to get help from an adult. That's self-defense. Retaliation is when you're hitting back because you were angry, or he hit me, so I hit him. That's retaliation. He kicked me, so I kicked him. That's retaliation. Okay. Retaliation is when you're hitting back because you're angry. Self-defense is when you have to use force just to get away, to get help from an adult. Let's pause and take a minute. What is the difference between self-defense, and retaliation. Talk about that in your classroom. Welcome back. Let's talk about dangerous objects. These are things that cannot be brought to school. They should not be in your backpacks, your pockets. These are dangerous. A dangerous object would be a knife. Guns are dangerous objects. They cannot be at school. Firecrackers, shock pens, laser light pens that have the little red light. Okay. Anything that looks like a weapon is a dangerous object, even if it's a toy. So a real gun is a dangerous object. A toy gun is a dangerous object. A real knife is a dangerous object. A toy knife is a dangerous object. These are dangerous objects. They do not belong at Jefferson. They do not belong at school, not in your pockets, not in your backpacks. Profanity, vulgarity, and obscene acts. Okay. Profanity is using bad words. We have no bad words. You should not be using bad words at Jefferson. No bad signs. No bad pictures. And this includes what you say. This includes what you write. This includes what you draw. No bad words, no bad signs, no bad pictures. This also includes looking for these bad things on the computer. So you may not use your Chromebook to look for bad words or bad signs or bad pictures. Robbery, extortion. Robbery is stealing. You cannot steal. You cannot take other people's belongings. You cannot try to steal other people's belongings. You cannot have someone else steal someone else's belongings for you. And you cannot tell someone that they better bring something to you or else. That's extortion. Okay? So you cannot steal. You cannot try to steal. You cannot ask somebody to steal something from someone for you. And you cannot threaten someone that they better bring you something or else. Let's pause. Do you have any questions about dangerous objects, profanity, or robbery? Ask them now to your teacher. Welcome back. Let's talk about bullies. What do bullies do? Bullies hit and kick and punch. Bullies threaten. Sometimes they insult you. Bullies tease people and they call people names. Bullies spread rumors and they tell lies about someone. Bullies exclude someone. That means they leave people out of games and fun activities. Bullies can sometimes even use computers or phones to threaten or tease or call people names. And they do it on their computers and phones. When they do that, that's called cyber bullying. And it is still bullying. Don't be a bully. Students may not threaten physical violence against others. And we talked about physical injuries. You cannot hit and kick. You may not do that against other students. You may not threaten to have your brothers or your sisters or your friends hurt someone else. So you can't tell someone, my brother's going to get you, my sister's going to beat you up. You cannot do that. That is bullying. Students may not threaten or intimidate a complaining witness. If someone tells on you because you hurt them, you may not threaten that person. You may not tell them, I'm going to get you because you told on me. You may not do that. That is bullying. Students may not use cell phones or computers to initiate or carry out threats. We just talked about cyberbullying. So you cannot threaten somebody on the computer just because you're typing it, or threaten them on a cell phone with a text or a message. That is still bullying. Students may not write threatening or harassing notes at school. You may not write a note that threatens someone at school. How do you stop bullying? Well, there's some things you should do. Tell the bully to stop. Don't stop it. I don't like it when you say that. Stop it. Don't hit me. And when you tell them to stop, then you need to go tell an adult what happened. Another thing you can do is walk away. If you have someone that you feel like is bullying you in the basketball area, walk away to another area, but go tell an adult first. What do you do if someone is being bullied and you see it? Do you just stand there and watch? No. You need to help that person. Go on over and help them. Ask them if they are okay. Walk with them to go tell an adult about the situation. Always report the bully to an adult. There are supervisors on the yard. That's an adult. Sometimes there might be a teacher nearby. That's an adult. Mrs. Black is an adult. Mrs. Ferris Scott is an adult. Always let an adult know if you are being bullied. Let's pause. What should you do if you are being bullied, or if you see someone being bullied? What should you do? Stop and talk about that. Welcome back. Let's talk about expulsion. Expulsion means to be expelled. Now, when we talked about suspended, we said if you get suspended, you do not get to come to Jefferson for 1 day, 2 days, maybe up to 5 days. Expulsion means that you get removed from the school. That means you have to leave our school, Jefferson. You don't get to come to our school anymore. That's what expulsion means. So, what could cause you to get expelled? If you have or bring a dangerous weapon to school, you might get expelled. Selling drugs, fighting, or causing serious injury to someone, disruption of the school program, or having more than 20 suspensions in one school year. These are offenses that might cause you to get expelled and have to leave Jefferson Elementary. Let's pause. Can you remember one offense that may cause you to get expelled? Talk about that with your teacher. Okay, now that we've talked about the rules, there are some keys to success. What can you do to be a successful Jefferson Jaguar? You can come to school every day on time. That will help you be successful. You can always do your personal best. That will help you be successful. And you can show respect for yourself and others. Those are the keys to success at Jefferson Elementary. We're going to pause. At this time, I'm going to ask kindergarten, first grade, second, and third grade teachers. You may stop the video now. Thank you for participating in the discipline assembly. Fourth, fifth, and sixth grade teachers, please remain on. We have a couple more topics to discuss, and you will be on your way as well. So, goodbye, kindergarten, first, second grade, and third teachers. Thank you very much. And let's continue with fourth, fifth, and sixth grade students. Okay, so I should have fourth grade, fifth grade, and sixth graders still participating. Let's talk about controlled substances. These are items that cannot be at school. They should not be here at Jefferson. They should not be in your pockets. They should not be in your backpacks. They are not allowed. There are no drugs are allowed. No cigarettes. No vape pens. No medicine. And we talked about medicine. If you need medicine, your parent needs to have it taken to the office, and the office will hold your medicine, and the office will make sure that you get your medicine. So that is a controlled substance. You should not have medicine in your backpack, in your pocket, or in your desk. And of course, no alcohol. So none of these controlled substances are allowed at Jefferson. Okay. Sexual harassment. I told you we would talk about this a little later. Okay. Sexual harassment, there's no physical sexual harassment. Physical means someone is touching one of your private body parts. That is sexual harassment. No one should touch any of your private body parts. There's visual sexual harassment, and that means there's no inappropriate drawings. There's no inappropriate writing, things that you write. There's no inappropriate gestures that you make with your hands. That is also considered sexual harassment. Sexual harassment can also be verbal. That means you're using your mouth. So you cannot make comments about a person's body or their body parts, inappropriate comments about their body or body parts. That can also be sexual harassment. If you feel any of these things have happened, you need to tell an adult. If a student is making you feel uncomfortable in any of those areas, you need to tell an adult. Let's pause. Do you have any questions about controlled substances or any questions about sexual harassment? Stop and ask them now to your teacher. Welcome back. We're just about done. The last thing I want to talk about are bike riders, people who ride their bikes to and from school. Well, first of all, you must be in fourth, fifth, or sixth grade to ride your bicycle. You must wear a helmet. So if you are riding your bike to school, you must have a helmet. If you don't have a helmet, you cannot ride your bike because you must have a helmet to ride it to school and from school. You must use the crosswalks at the corners and in the middle of the block where there is a crosswalk. When you get to the campus, you have to get off of your bike and you walk your bike onto the campus. And you'll walk it right to the bike cage. And you'll lock your bicycle in the bike cage. You must have a way to secure your bike and lock it. And there are no skateboards. So skateboards are not allowed at school. You may not ride your skateboard to school and have it here. And scooters are not allowed at school. So you may not ride your scooter to school and lock it up here. Only bikes. All right. So for fifth and sixth graders, we know that if we want to be successful, character counts every day. So what are the things that we can do to be successful every day at Jefferson? We can be trustworthy. Trustworthy means we can be trusted. You can be respectful. You can be responsible. You can be fair. You can be caring. And you can be a good citizen. Character counts every day at Jefferson Elementary. I want to thank you guys for listening and paying attention to the discipline assembly and participating. Have a have a great day, fourth, fifth, and sixth grade students. Teachers, this ends the discipline assembly. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Have a great day.